The world's most influential golfer and an 82-time winner on the PGA Tour, Tiger Woods, has steadfastly backed the PGA Tour on its war with LIV Golf. However, the 2022 PIP winner has said the breakaway league CEO must go for any chance of the PGA Tour and LIV Golf coexisting. So the question on everyone's mind is, can the LIV Golf owners decide to do away with their CEO? Keep an eye out for more details about the 15-time major champion's perspective on resolving the conflict between the PGA Tour and the LIV Golf Series. Welcome to Golf Links, and make sure you subscribe to ensure you're up to date on all golf news. Golf billionaire Tiger Woods spoke with the media on Tuesday at the Hero World Challenge in the Bahamas, where he was the event's host but will not be competing. Woods refused to speculate on what coexisting between the two organizations may entail when asked about the possibility. Woods, though, aimed squarely at LIV's top brass. Quote, "Greg has to go first of all. Of course, any legal action brought against us and any countersuit we brought against them would also need to be put on hold." End quote. So, after that, everyone is free to speak. Woods is restating a claim made by Rory McIlroy at the DP World Tour Championship 2 weeks prior, according to which Norman's behavior as the CEO of LIV Golf has made it impossible for the two parties to agree. On Tuesday, when asked about coexistence many times, Woods used the word animosity 5 times to describe LIV's entry into the environment, at least one of which was a clear reference to Norman. Can these organizations coexist? Woods was questioned. Quote, "Right now, not right now. Not with their leadership. Not with Greg there and his antipathy towards the tour itself. I don't think that's going to happen. Hopefully we may have a stay between the two cases and come to a resolution. But as Rory and I both mentioned, I believe Greg has to leave." When Woods was asked about LIV Golf wanting its players to be counted in the official World Golf Rankings so they may participate in big tournaments, he commented, quote, "I don't know what their endgame is. We just don't know. It's an unending money hole, but that doesn't necessarily create legacies either. Suppose you want to compare yourself to Ben Hogan, Sam Snead, or Jack Nicklaus. You can't do it on that LIV circuit, but you can on the PGA Tour. It's a year we didn't anticipate to happen," continued Woods. The hostility, the anxiety, and then the players leaving and how they showed their indifference or disrespect to the tour helped them get to that point. "I'm not too fond of many things about it, and certain players are extremely open about it and have announced it, which I appreciate. The opposite side is also there, and I found it tasteless." Woods cautioned players who switched to LIV that while they would amass cash, they would find it difficult to have a lasting legacy in sports. It may not be as practical as McIlroy and Woods make it appear. Despite their agreement on what must come first, the PGA Tour would need to budge quite a bit for both sides to, quote, "meet in the middle," end quote. So is the PGA Tour willing to come to a peaceful agreement? Or is it just Woods and McIlroy's opinion? However, despite Woods and McIlroy's opinions on a peaceful resolution between the two organizations, it may seem they don't speak for the PGA Tour. Greg Norman, CEO of LIV Golf, stated that he proposed a meeting with PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan this summer, but has yet to receive a response during a virtual news conference in October. During his playing career, Norman has been known as the Shark for his intimidating demeanor on the field. He has been as aggressive as the leader of LIV, directing billions of dollars from the Saudi Public Investment Fund at scores of the sport's best players, while also upsetting many people. Norman's statements regarding the argument have drawn criticism for his lack of tact. According to him, players on the competing tour should be thanking LIV for increasing competition. In response, the PGA filed a countersuit accusing Norman of deceiving players into breaking their contracts. Norman has stated that he has no desire to negotiate with the PGA Tour. One of LIV's followers and Woods' longtime adversary, Phil Mickelson. Along with Mickelson, other noteworthy players who have joined LIV Golf include world number 3 Cameron Smith, the current British Open champion, Brooks Koepka, a 4-time major winner, and Dustin Johnson, a 2-time major winner. Both Koepka and Johnson have previously held the world's number 1 ranking. So, does Woods have a personal conflict with Norman, the CEO of the LIV International Series? because he has repeatedly stated that Norman must leave before the PGA Tour and LIV Golf can reach an agreement. The criticism directed at Greg Norman came the day after Woods pulled out of the 20-player Albany, Bahamas field due to plantar fasciitis in his right foot, delaying plans to play in his first competitive event since failing to make the British Open cut in July. So is there a hostile relationship between Woods and Norman? Woods and Norman have a long history together. In their first encounter, Woods and Norman played a game of golf at Bay Hill in Orlando, Florida, when Tiger was 15 years old. Norman is also said to have impacted Woods' decision to train with Butch Harmon. Later, in 1995 and 96, Woods and Norman played practice rounds at the Masters together. The two sportsmen, who are 21 years apart, had, in many ways, developed a bond, but by the second part of 96, whatever bond was there had been gone. Woods scheduled the Norman Shark shootout on his playing schedule for September that year. Still, representatives for the competition promptly replied that Woods had yet to receive an invitation. When a formal offer was extended, Woods refused it in favor of competing the following week in the Australian Open, a tournament in which Norman also participated. Woods tied for 5th after shooting 79 in his opening round down under. Then Norman said to the press, quote, "We play challenging courses here," end quote. Woods requested to face Norman in singles at the 1998 President's Cup 2 years later. According to Woods, quote, "I wanted to play against him. Peter Thompson and Jack Nicklaus had discussed the kinds of pairings that would be ideal for the event. We're getting blown out. So that was one of the key matchups that I felt like I could handle and play in. And I felt like I could earn a point for our U.S. team," end quote. Even though the U.S. team was crushed, Woods defeated Norman. 2011 saw another meeting between the two, with Norman serving as the international captain and Woods as a player. Norman publicly admitted before the President's Cup that if he had been Fred Couples, he wouldn't have chosen Woods to represent the American team. Regarding major titles, Norman hasn't been hesitant about sharing his other thoughts on Woods. Several times over the past 10 years, Norman, a two-time major champion, has predicted that Woods will never again win a major due to his scandal and injuries. When Tiger Woods was at his best, Norman remarked that, quote, "He had a single-shot approach," end quote. Woods still had 14 major titles at the time, but he had yet to claim one since the U.S. Open in 2008. Later that year, Norman predicted that he would win again. He will win other tour events. However, a major? I'm not seeing it. Woods, of course, pulled off one of the greatest comebacks in sports history to win the 2019 Masters, a triumph that sparked one of the most famous Woods-Norman storylines in history. Meanwhile, Woods revealed that he would only compete in the 4 majors and 1 or 2 additional tournaments next season while he recovers from a vehicle accident in late February 2021 outside of Los Angeles. Woods had such serious injuries in the one car crash last year that he almost lost his right leg, as he revealed at the Hero World Challenge. He stated that he intends to compete in the main championships and perhaps 1 or 2 others. That's all. Saying, quote, "That's all I can do physically," end quote. "I don't have much left in this leg, so I prepare for the toughest games with the hope that lightning will strike a bottle and put me in the driver's seat with a chance to win. Hopefully, I'll also remember how to accomplish it," he said. He also added that he didn't anticipate playing 3 majors. He had hoped for only the British Open, so it was quite encouraging that he could squeeze in 2 more. Since missing the cut at the 150th Open Championship in July, the 46-year-old has not played. He refused to provide any further information about the treatments. Quote, "I was walking more and more to get my legs ready for this week, but it was just making things worse," end quote. "I can hit the golf ball and execute any stroke you want, but I can't walk." Quote, "Only time will be able to cure this one," end quote. Woods still plans to partner McIlroy in the match against Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas on December 10th at the PNC Championship, with his son Charlie the following week. However, he will be permitted to use a golf cart in both games and has stated that he would never do so in a regular PGA Tour tournament. Do you believe that Woods can resume his top form now that he's begun his rehabilitation? And will the conflict between the PGA Tour and the LIV Golf International Series ever be resolved? Please leave your suggestions in the comments section below, and thanks for watching.